Let's say hello now to our next guest. So very kind to join us. I know a lot of you thought he wouldn't, and there he is, the one and only Ben Askren. Ben, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Usually it's on more joyous terms that I'm joining you, Ariel.
Yes, it is, and I have to say, I really respect the fact that you're coming on the show. People thought I was lying when I announced that you'd be on, but you're a class act, my man. So thank you for doing this.
Well, I got nothing to hide from. Obviously, mistakes happen, losses happen. Saturday night was definitely not ideal for myself, but I got nothing to complain about.
Okay, how do you feel first and foremost?
You know what? I think Saturday night was least traumatizing for me. There's a little part of my memory that's blank there, but man, I remember being in the cage with him. I don't really remember the flying knee, and then when I can recall, I remember everything. I was like, "Oh, shit. I lost to George Masvidal. This freaking sucks." When everyone else was more worried about me than I was worried about myself, and I didn't really have any pain of any sort, not a headache, nothing on my face hurts, and so it was just like, "Oh, Jesus. I lost to George Masvidal. How did I lose to him? How fast was it?" I could tell it was pretty fast because I wasn't, like, sweaty or sore or anything, so I knew it was fast. I didn't know exactly how fast it was, and apparently, I guess I set a record of some sort.
When do you recall regaining your memory? Like, were you in the back? Were you still in the
No,
cage?
I was at the hospital.
Oh, really? Wow. You don't
Yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah.
anything in the cage?
I don't. So I was obviously awake, but no, it's not. I'm not piecing all of that together.
Wow. And who
Yeah,
told you?
it's unfortunate.
Who told you about what
Who-
happened?
Um, my wife, and then obviously I saw via social media.
Right. And what is it
Yeah,
like? What is it like getting that information from your wife? You've never experienced that before.
never. Yeah, you know what? Effing Eddie Alvarez actually jinxed me when I was on your show. When I was on your show, Ariel, in Chicago, they were
Yeah.
all talking in the back, and they were all lamenting their knockout losses. They're like, "Yeah, usually we could say everyone's had this happen to them, but, not you, Ben." And then I felt guilty for it not happening to me, and now I guess I get to join the club, unfortunately.
Does it feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, or is this a club you never wanted to
No,
join?
absolutely not. I didn't wanna join this damn club.
Oh.
No.
Uh,
Yeah, of course not.
how was your wife handling it on Saturday?
She was fine. I mean, I think she was sad. I had an after party to go to, so I felt fine. So we grabbed some food. I went to that, and you got to see all. I had a lot of friends in town, so I got to see my friends. I slept in Sunday. I went to the pool and hung out with some friends. Took a nap and went to dinner with them, and enjoyed their company. So obviously not under the terms that I would have really envisioned them being under, but nevertheless got to see a bunch of good friends, and that was fun.
How long were you at the hospital for?
Oh, it couldn't have been long. Oh, I can't tell you exactly what time I went into the cage at. Um, but I could tell you that John Jones was still fighting while, when I was, you know, figuring stuff out. John Jones was still fighting, and then, I think I was out of the hospital before 10 p.m. So whatever the math on that is.
Do they make you do tests there? Like, what do they
Yeah,
do to
yeah,
determine?
yeah.
What did you do?
I don't. I'm not a doctor. I believe a CT scan and something else.
Did you
What
suffer a
they said.
concussion?
Well, they said their test didn't show anything, obviously, but the fact that I went unconscious, I believe that's defined as a concussion.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm not a doctor as
fair
well, but
enough.
I just wanted uh, to
You
double
should be a
check.
doctor by now. Do this
Um,
podcast for a decade or so.
sure, fair enough. Did you ever envision the fight starting like that? Did that scenario ever cross your mind?
You know what? I was ready for knees, and I did say to Duke multiple times in the back room, I think he's gonna try something crazy right away. If you remember the Till fight, obviously he ran across the ring, kicked Till in the balls like in
Right.
the first 4 seconds. And I had an inkling that he's gonna try something right away. And I've kind of always thought, like, who the hell gets flying knee? Like, can't you see that coming? It's coming from so far away. But when I watched the film, I mean, I don't like George at all, but that was a damn good flying knee. I mean, he hit it fast and explosively. He got some serious airtime on it, and then obviously connected in the right spot.
As far as your technique is concerned, do you feel like you did anything wrong? I mean, obviously, if you could have done it differently, you would do it differently. But
Yeah.
do you regret the technique?
I mean, it's hard saying it's wrong. That would be total confirmation bias if I were to say that, and obviously a lot of people would. But the fact that is, I've been in the cage 19 times, and that type of technique has worked 19 other times, and it's never failed me. And so now, to the one time it fails me, to turn around and say, "Yeah, that's bad technique. That's not the way I should have done it. It was predictable." To say those things, obviously they would be correct, but it's also confirmation bias, and a lot of people fall for their own confirmation bias, and so I'm not going to fall for my own confirmation bias. That the way I had done things had worked every single other time. Obviously had never had a defeat previous to this, and so I got you know I got hit. I got hit hard. It's fine. It happens. It's a mistake, and I think that's all there is to it.
How many times have you watched it?
I think it's once or twice.
Really? And where did you see it? Online? On your phone?
Yeah.
And what's
Yeah, there's my Twitter's been blowing up. Ariel, I think my biggest previous tweet was like 27,000 likes or something, which is respectable. But all I wrote after the fight was, "Well, that sucked," and
yeah.
I didn't feel like I needed to elaborate any more on that. I think it was pretty obvious, and it got like 170,000 likes
Yes.
or something absurd. So I think people are enjoying my pain, which whatever. And then so I did, and then I don't want to miss say it, but Heather Hardy, she's a fighter on here. She said MMA is hard. Stop being assholes when people lose. Takes a lot of balls to step in the cage. And while that is true, I feel like I probably deserve it. I've been antagonizing people for about a decade now, and it never came up on the end of the stick. Now I'm not reading everything they're antagonizing me with. Obviously, I'm scrolling through it. I don't want to dwell on that. Um, but fair enough. I always figured when this point happened that I would I get lit up, and I'm not paying attention to it, but I'm sure I am. I'm getting lit up.
Is the
Hey,
lighting up?
Ariel,
Yes.
huge. I just realized this guy. I checked Heather Hardy's tweet right there.
Yeah.
I had a quarter million followers. I think that's some kind of milestone.
That is a big deal. Mazel tov. Well done.
Deal.
As far
Yeah.
as the lighting up is concerned, is it worse than you expected?
I'm not looking at it. I
Okay.
couldn't tell you. I told you to tell me.
All right. Well, how about this? How about Dylan Dennis and Darren Till, two guys who you've had, back and forth with,
Oh,
both saying nice things and telling you to keep your chin up. And
oh,
did you see
really?
that? Yeah.
I did not. I told you. Listen. I mean, one of the things you can't do when stuff like this happens for me on social media is dwell on all the stuff people are saying. I just try to scroll through it. Obviously, people who are close to me have texted me and checked in on me. But yeah, I mean that's nice. Not that I expected it or anything. I figured they would have tore me up, which would have been definitely fair on their part, and I would not have been upset at them for doing so.
Uh, Dylan Dennis wrote, respect to Ben Askren, talked a big game and put it on the line. A true warrior. He will be back with a bang. Darren Till wrote, unlucky Ben. SHIT happens. You'll be back. So how about that?
Wow. Well, yeah, that's very nice of those guys. Although, like I said, I wouldn't have been mad if they would have went a little harder in the paint on me. I think that would have been fair. I probably would have deserved it. Um, yeah, but I mean, honestly, on the one side of me says, "Holy shit! Like, how did I get knocked out in 5 seconds?" I honestly, man, I've been in this game for 10 years. I haven't really got hit hard barely at all. I've never really been rocked. I've never been dropped. So I was almost getting to the point where I don't want to say I was careless, but I kind of thought I was almost invincible or just had a tough skull, which obviously I was, it was a hell of a hit, but it was probably proved wrong on Saturday night. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, a rude awakening, and not the way I would have liked it to go down. But at the same time, you know, I'm not. I don't want to say I hate the term. I hate when I see a few people saying George got lucky. That's not lucky, man. I mean, is it gonna happen 100 out of 100 times? Definitely not, but, landing a knee like that takes a lot of skill. I couldn't do such a thing, and, but at the same time, I don't feel like it was like I didn't get my ass kicked for 15 minutes and get stuffed on 13 takedowns and just beat up, and people say, "Oh, he sucks." It's like, "Man, I got caught with the flying knee. I got knocked out. There's not much I can do about it."
In your life, like as far as training is concerned, have you ever been
Yeah,
rocked or knocked down?
never ever in my life for
Wow.
anything.
I was talking to Paul Felder after the fight. We did a little wrap up, and he suggested that maybe because of this, you'll change things as far as your training is concerned. Is that something you'll look to do?
I don't know. I don't know what he means by that exactly. Um, again, confirmation bias would say, "Hey, maybe I'm doing something wrong." But at the same time, man, I was feeling great. I was feeling my shape was outstanding. Everything was really feeling on point. I had made some really good improvements in my jiu-jitsu. Everything was feeling really good. So no, I mean, like going into the fight, if you said, "Hey, do you need to make some changes?" I would have said, "No, I feel great. Everything I think is going really well." And then so now because I get kneed in the head one time, I need to change everything. I don't think that I don't think that's a healthy way to think of things. Obviously, if this happened multiple times, or like I said, if I was stopped a whole bunch of times, it kind of would look bad. Then maybe I would revisit that. But it was one strike. It happens. It's MMA. It's dangerous. And, there's not really much else to say about that, but no, I felt like my training was great. I didn't really feel like I did anything wrong, um, and I was really happy with my training camp.
Do you want to keep fighting?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I haven't even thought of my path forward, Ariel. I had such a nice path set up, and I did it for myself, and George Masvidal was my pick. I went to London, I said, "I'm gonna fight the winner of Till Masvidal." I got it. That was who I wanted to fight, and that was my path to a title, and I had created all this hype and all this momentum. And I was right where I wanted to be. I mean, I was right on the precipice of having that title shot against Usman if I go and win the fight on Saturday night. And now it's like I said, I enjoyed hanging out with my friends yesterday. I flew home this morning. I haven't really thought about, hey, where am I? Where am I now? What's my path forward? Who am I going to fight next? I hadn't really thought of that because I was all in on the one thing happening, the other thing happened. So I guess I have to take some time to regroup. I'm assuming that I'll be suspended for. I didn't look at what my suspension is, but I'm assuming I'll be suspended for a significant amount of time. With not even any training due to the fact that I'm unconscious. So I will have some time to plot my path forward.
According to Nevada, you're suspended until September 5th, no contact until August 21st. So, um,
Okay.
they,
Thanks. I
they,
appreciate it. How'd you have that knowledge right on hand? Did you know I was going to
listen,
say that?
listen, I'll give credit to Corporate Jake for that one. He said it in my ear.
Smart.
But what about the extra punches as you were clearly out? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I didn't even watch them.
Okay.
I don't care. It happens. I knew what I signed up for. Do I like George Masvidal? No. Do if you asked me before the fight if George knocks you out, he's gonna take a few extra shots, I would've said, "Yep, he definitely is." Uh, so that's his if that's what he wants to do, that's fine.
Does the fact that it's a record bother you more?
Uh, no, I think that's probably a positive, right? I mean, would you wanna be somewhere in mediocrity at, like, 24 seconds, or you wanna have a
Yeah.
record at 5?
Might as well just take the record.
You might as well just have the record. Yeah, yeah, if also if you calculate, like, my pay per hour due to a 5-second knockout, it's pretty
Right.
fantastic.
Okay, so what about the fact that it is a guy that you don't like, right? Like there was clearly some heat there between you guys, some bad blood.
Yeah.
The fact that he has this victory over you now.
Yeah, it's annoying. What am I to do about it? Cry? Ask for a rematch? I don't deserve a rematch. I got knocked out in 5 seconds. What do you want me to do? Okay, Ariel, sometimes life doesn't go your way. Sometimes you get your ass kicked. Sometimes you lose. Uh, you don't have to like it, but you got to accept it.
Did you see him afterwards?
I I might have. I don't recall it if I
Right.
if I did.
Right,
As I
right.
said,
I
I
don't know
don't
if you saw him in the
remember.
hotel or something afterwards, after party.
I did not. I was staying. Yeah, I stayed at the Paris hotel afterwards. So no, I didn't see him at all.
Okay. And did you see any of his post-fight comments?
No, wouldn't bother watching those. That would probably annoy me. So I
Okay.
figured I should bother.
Seeing your
I'm sure they weren't all that complimentary. I'm sure he had a lot of bad things to say about me. And that's fine. But I antagonized the shit out of him. That was on purpose. I was trying to first get him to accept the fight, second then make him mad. And so obviously, like those extra punches, it's fine. It's probably what should be expected in a scenario like that.
he said something to the effect that that wasn't the three-piece in the soda, that was the whole MGM Grand Buffet that he threw at you.
Well, I guess that was what he needed to throw at me, and he was successful with doing so. So good job, George.
What is it like for someone who's been so dominant to see yourself in that spot, like to see yourself get knocked out? What is that experience like?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it in those terms at all. I mean, obviously we go through life. Now I got to be on a damn highlight effing clip. I was laughing because when they did that bottle cap challenge was pretty popular last week. You
Yeah.
remember what they were doing? And I thought the UFC was they were such dicks because they put Ronda's head as a bottle
Oh no.
and Holly was kicking it off. And so obviously I wouldn't fit in the bottle cap challenge, but I'm sure that highlight will be played many times into the future, which is not ideal for me. But again, it happened. There's nothing I can do to change it, and so me being upset about it is not really going to do me any good whatsoever.
When is the last time you recall losing on a big stage?
Well, I lost to Jordan Burroughs in May, but
No, but I
again, I
mean that
kind
was like an
yeah,
actual professional
and so
competitive.
and something I mean, and something I was actually like 100% focused
Yeah.
on the last time would be the Olympics.
Wow. And how does this
Yeah, I mean,
compare?
doesn't it not nearly as painful.
Really?
I don't yeah, I don't know, I honestly, with a lot of these things, at least in my life, I can't speak for your life, you don't know exactly what something's gonna feel like until you do it. You can guess and you can think about what it's gonna feel like, and, man, the Olympics, I was crushed. That was, like, something I put a decade of work my whole life for a decade is all solely focused on one thing. And, now obviously I've been undefeated for a decade. I've been working for to prove I was the best in the world for a decade. But as we know in MMA, it's different. In Olympics, I knew there was no way I was getting another shot for 4 years. If I was getting another shot, obviously I knew I also had MMA on my mind, so I decided to pursue that path. So I never got another shot. In this, it's like I said, I mean, George Masvidal lost 2 in a row before he beat Darren Till and me, and now he may or may not get a title shot, but he would be on the precipice of it. So, if I get a couple wins, I'm probably not too far away from achieving an ultimate goal. And the other thing I would say to that is I think I probably have so many other things going on in my life. Whereas when I was training for the Olympics, it was like the Olympics, wrestling. That's it. That's all I thought about. I mean, I might have went and socialized or chased girls. I might have went to school, but all that shit was easy. All that shit was secondary. Everything in my life was solely focused on wrestling, and that was it all day, every single day. And now, like I said, my life is much more diversified.
Will this result change the way you approach fights now? Will you not talk as much trash or try to get under people's skin, or is it going to be the same?
No, of course it's gonna be the same. I mean, one of the moronic things that George is saying is like he deserved to get hit because he was talking all that trash. And it's like, listen, if I didn't say nothing, okay, number one, I wouldn't have got the fight. Number two, not that many people would have been excited. But number three, would you have really tried not to knock me out? Would you have like tried to be nice to me and play patty cake with me or paper scissors rock or something? No. Listen, no matter what happened, you were gonna try to knock me out. So why are you saying this narrative that you tried to knock me out because I was talking trash? You were gonna try to knock me out, literally, no matter what happens. What we do, Ariel, is a cage fight. The whole point is to incapacitate the opponent, and so which they cannot compete any longer. And so the idea that he tried to make it worse because I was talking trash is it's insane. It's just totally ridiculous. And I know it sounds good and it sounds right and it sounds like what most people would think, but that's just not the case. And if he is not trying hard against other people because they're not talking trash, I would probably tell him he should probably rethink his strategy and try hard against everyone regardless of what they say to him.
Did you see this footage that they posted afterwards of them practicing the flying knee before the?
Yes, I saw that.
What do you make of
Yeah, I
that?
mean, I had a good idea that he was like I said, he was gonna try a knee. I had a good idea that that was coming. It just he executed well. That's what it comes down to. I mean, he had a game plan. He executed really well. He got the knockout. I had a game plan. I obviously didn't execute. I didn't even get the opportunity to execute, but I didn't execute very well on the one thing that I tried to do.
What was your game plan?
Close distance, take him down.
Okay,
I wasn't really secretive of that. I mean, you knew that.
right. Anyone in particular reach out to you about this, about how to handle this? Any text or phone call that you got that stood out?
Uh, Now I've got that stood out. No, I mean, I have a lot of people that care about me. I got a lot of really, really good texts and phone calls in the last day. I mean, hey, obviously, there's a few people who are undefeated in mixed martial arts. I would say Khabib and John Jones. Besides that, everyone's experienced a defeat of some sort. And even if you would say John Jones and Khabib, I'm sure they've experienced some loss or some failure at some point in their life. We all experience loss and failure. It's part of what makes us what we are. It's part of the struggle. It's part of what makes us strong. And so, wishing to go through life without struggle or failure that's wishing for a shitty life. You don't really want that. I want struggle and I want failure. I want my kids to have struggle and I want my kids to have failure. I want the kids I coach to have struggle and failure. That's what makes us who we are. So it's fine and I accept it.
Do you now have a newfound respect for Jorge Masvidal?
No, that guy's a douche. No, I don't like him. I mean, listen, he's a good fighter. I said he was a good fighter before I fought him. There's no doubt about that. But the whole attitude, kind of what I said earlier about how he said he wanted to knock me out more because I talked trash was ridiculous. He was going to try to knock me out
Right.
no matter what scenario was.
Do you think
So
he can be
yeah.
champion?
Um, I think he matches up decent against Usman. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't appear, and I haven't looked a lot into it, but it doesn't appear they're going to give him the shot, and that's probably due to him failing to show up for media today. It's probably precarious for them to throw him into a title shot and not know if he's going to show up to promote the title shot. So maybe they're going to wait and see what happens with Colby and Robbie. Tyron's still kind of a wild card because he hasn't accepted a fight yet. Obviously, I get knocked way down the totem pole. And so, yeah, I don't know. I guess I think I heard somewhere that they said Usman wasn't healthy or something yet,
Yeah.
but that's probably an excuse for them saying they don't really want to give Masvidal the shot.
Wow. So you heard that he's going to be sort of punished for this.
I didn't hear that. I'm surmised. I mean, Ariel, he
Okay.
didn't get. They didn't say you're getting a title shot, George, and he won in about as spectacular fashion as you could win. I mean, could he have really won in any more spectacular fashion?
No, I mean, no. Absolutely. I
It
mean,
could
it
he
was a
could he
record.
really won in any way that gave him more publicity?
No.
No, I mean, I saw one video. There was only one video. I saw one video of myself getting knocked out on, I think it was Twitter, had 7 million views.
Oh my
Oh
God.
god, brutal. But, yeah, I mean, so there's not really I mean, I think I said this on what day was media day? Friday, Thursday? I don't whenever it was. Ariel, I said it's not a number one contender's bout. It's a title shot for me if I win. For him, it's not. He won in about as spectacular fashion as you could win. He won getting about as much publicity as you could get. He was the most anticipated fight on the card because of all that trash I talked. So, George wants to say thank you to me for that. That's fine. Um, and he still didn't get a title shot. So I think that tells you that I was probably correct. Um, I think they'll, like I said, I think they'll probably weigh their options. I think they'll see what happens with Colby and Robbie, and then they'll probably go from there. And then they also have Leon Edwards and Dos
Right.
Anjos later this month as
Yep.
well. So yeah, I think they're probably gonna wait and see how that plays out. But I think my prediction on that last Thursday was correct.
And you, I mean, you sound okay. Did you feel okay right now?
Oh, I'm great. Yeah, I feel fine. Like I said, when it clicked at the hospital, oh shit, I lost the freaking George Masvidal. When everything clicked, it was like my head didn't hurt, my face didn't hurt, nothing hurt. I felt perfectly fine. There was no headache, there was no stomach ache, there was no nothing. I mean, literally nothing. It was just like, oh, this sucks. I kept groaning the whole night, like, I
Oh,
lost to that guy. Oh, terrible. I mean, Arrow, if you really think about it, I was on, and you could, like I said, I could sit and cry about this, but it's not really worth my time because it's not going to do anything. I was just about to get a damn title shot. I was just about to fulfill a lot of dreams that I've had for a long time, and I failed to do that. And it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, but it's something I do. I can't change the past. I got knocked out, and I accept that.
you're gonna take it easy now the rest of the summer?
Yeah, like you said, I was gonna look up my suspension at some point later today. You said I was suspended with no contact till
August
when'd you say?
21st. August 21st.
First?
Mm.
It's probably pretty smart. So yes, I actually, you know what? I probably won't take it easy. I got a really busy month of July where I'm gonna go to national team training camp on Thursday. We have our nationals for all of our kids. We've just our academy, not the state of Wisconsin, but just our academy is the three that we have. We're sending 48 kids to the freestyle portion, men and women of the cadet and junior national tournament later this week. So we got a lot of guys. Who hopefully will do pretty well and earn themselves some college scholarships and earn themselves some recognition. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I've had to step back from coaching a little bit And I'm excited to hop back in there for the next couple weeks.
I got to say, I don't know how anyone can hate Ben Askren. The way you're handling this is very commendable, my friend. Really, it is.
Well, sometimes I try to be as hateable as possible,
Yes.
uh, and that suited me pretty well.
It has done you well, and that's why I think this moment is such a big deal. If you weren't that way, no one would care. So it's a testament to you, even though it's coming off a loss. But you're handling it with such class, for the most part. You know, I know you and Jorge will never see eye to eye, but it's
You
really
don't have to like or we don't have to
sure.
yeah, do you have to like every single person on the planet?
No,
I think the
no.
answer no, there's some people you don't like the way they do things, and that's fine. There's probably a lot of people who they don't like the way I do things, and that's fine. I'm really not gonna hold it against them. I'm not gonna think they're a dick because they think that of me. That's just what they think of me, and that's fine.
It's just really impressive, because a lot of times when people lose like that, you know, they go away for a long time. Here you are on the Monday after and answering all the questions. So I really
Sure.
appreciate it, Ben. Thank you
You
for
got
doing
it. Yeah,
this.
no problem. Like I said, I just wanna repeat this. I think this is so important. This is something I think a lot of parents struggle with in youth athletics because that's kind of where I spend a lot of my time is they try to protect their kids from struggle and failure. And it's like, I want my kids to experience that because that's what builds character. And that's that's what I'm experiencing right now, even though I don't like it. And it's part of what makes you who you are. And it's a really important experience.
Have your kids seen you yet?
Yeah, they're upstairs. They're waiting for me. We're filling up the little inflatable pool. We're having a good time.
Okay, so they're
And I
good.
finally have a yard, and I finally have a driveway where we just redid the house and everything. So, I'm actually I'm pretty stoked to be home. I got home like 2 hours ago.
Okay, life is good. I'll let you go to your family. Thank you for
Right,
doing this, Ben. I appreciate it.
buddy. Got it.
Hello, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani. I just came here to thank you for watching our ESPN YouTube channel. It's the best. You know what else is the best? The ESPN app. You can get highlights, analysis, all that stuff and more. And if you want premium content and live streaming sports, there's only one place for all of that. It's ESPN Plus.